We're going to cut this section of the tunnel out, graft in the Mustang one.
Alright! Come on! Yeah! Here we go! Yeah!
Okay, so how do you get it in the right place?
I've got no fucking idea.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Alright!
It's really easy when you get somebody else to do it. So here we are with RRS Project Maverick and our 5-litre Coyote 6R80 swap. As you can see, the car's advanced a fair bit from where we were doing the initial cuts. It was dipped before, now it's been sandblasted, some rust protective paint, some epoxy primer, and other repairs are underway and modifications. So we've also fitted the RRS 3-link, we've fitted the RRS strut front end, the RRS right-hand drive conversion rack and pinion. We've completed all of the wiper and upper plenum right-hand drive conversion, and right now we're about to complete the transmission tunnel swap to clear the 6R80 and the 5-litre Coyote. Okay, so we've tidied up some of the cuts, but you'll see the final cuts to get this to fit. We did our preliminary cutout, made sure all the motor and gearbox fitted. We had this sitting over the top to check the clearance for that. And we'll go through that again, but the next stage is we set this in and start to get it trimmed up, final trim up, to weld it all in. And to get to this point, we've trimmed a bit at a time, just 10 mil, half an inch, whichever you prefer, bit at a time. And that way we can get a nice overlap when we put the unit in. For legality purposes, it's best to have a minimum of 13 mil overlap. That way you can either plug weld, stitch weld, but the two panels then are much, much stronger rather than doing a butt weld. So let's have a look. As you can see, we are almost there. A little bit of fiddling, of course. Panels are not exactly the same. The reason we're using this tunnel is pure convenience. Most vehicles, people fabricate their own tunnel. But because we're going to use the original gear shift, we're also going to use the original centre pull handbrake and the original centre console in this car. It just makes a better sense to have everything that is the fixtures for all the trim pieces that go in here. So that's why we're using that. Also, this has a number of reinforcing components in the tunnel that we're going to use because it adds a lot more strength to the original monocoque body. And chassis integrity is vitally important, and we'll explain why as we move through it too. Okay, so now we're in final trim up, so we're going to anchor it to the firewall and then start to trim it, put extra fixtures in so that everything is where it should be, and then we'll weld it in. So Ben's about to do a final trim. We're only about to take off 4 or 5 mil, quarter of an inch, just to get it so that we've got the right amount of overlap. Then we're ready to step it, hole punch it, screw it in, weld it up. Away you go, Ben. Okay, so what I'm going to do to make a nice flush inner finish is use a stepper tool, and I'm going to step it outwards so that when it is welded together the inside panel will look flush. This is a fantastic tool, you can buy them online. It's also got a hole punch so that you can put in your plug welds. Okay, now we're punching some holes in it so that we can screw the whole floor panel together with some self-tappers. Then we can use those holes for plug welds, and then we can finish it off with a nice neat seam weld on one edge, so it's all flush.
My eyes took me a second, but I realized that I'm still the same man I was yesterday. See, I made a promise to myself to make a change and better myself, but I don't feel any difference, and that's a shame. Just to be a better man. Clean the slate again, but I know the change, no, it don't come easy. Change, no, it don't come easy to me. Change, change, all I want is change, no, it don't come easy to me.
So we finally installed our donor 2017 Mustang transmission tunnel. We've used that because we want to be able to use the original centre console, gear shifter mounting location and centre pull handbrake. Now we've plug welded it, we've seam welded it for all of the chassis integrity is kept in place, so no strength is lost, it's only added. And now we're ready to dress it up and make it look pretty. And you'll be wondering what this bar is at the back, and I'll explain that.
To clean the slate again, but I know the change, no, it don't come easy.
Now, one last thing. If you like our videos, subscribe to them. They're all targeted at people who are do-it-yourself guys, who want to be able to finish the jobs themselves, or at least understand what's going on as their car's being built. So subscribe and like us. Thanks.
Now.